Okay, here we go. Hey, it's time for the show. I've set up the microphone, I got all the equipment running, and you're here. So it's the best part of the whole diddly dang program. I'm Uncle mowing his lawn in his underpants guy, and this is my show. This is my show where I talk about stuff. Let's look up at the big board, kids, and let's see what today's topic is going to be. Today, kids, we're going to talk about Superman's origin. Superman is considered by many people to be one of the most famous superheroes of all time, one of the most popular heroes of all time. Though, you know, that's one of those things that's arguable. You know, like, he's recognizable. Fucking Coke is popular, but is it like do people like it, or is it just that it's a commonality in that a lot of people don't like making a choice? They don't want to fucking look at your drink menu options, so they're just gonna say, give me a Coke, and then they kind of base their identity around that. I don't know, fucking man. Superman, and I mean, he's just fucking, what is he? He's fucking Doc Savage and Hercules and a couple other characters just fucking jammed together, and you know, he was his original creators, Siegel and Schuster. They were pretty interesting guys who were thinking some pretty interesting stuff. Originally, Superman was going to be a villain. But I want to talk about the technical origin of Superman. I want to talk about his in-universe origin. We all know fucking Superman. He was a tiny baby on a dying planet that was sent in a rocket ship to Earth, the last one of our kind. Send him to Earth. He'll live a good life there. And his rocket ship crash landed on Earth, and he was found by a couple of kindly old farmers who adopted him and took him in. And that's kind of fucked up, right? Like, these people just found a fucking kid and then adopted him. I guess I've seen that in some versions, like, they do a thing where, like, the Kents found him and then they took him to an orphanage, and then they showed up and were like, hey, can we adopt that kid we found? I think it's a little weird and a little suspect that a couple of doddering old people found a baby and got to keep it and raise it. I'm just not totally sure how that fucking works. And I mean, the flip side of that is that like the truth where Superman was just raised in a government foster care situation and just fucking grew up really harsh and like fucking, hey man, I don't have any connection to the world at all, man. I don't mean to shit on the foster care system. I think I know a lot of people go through the foster care system and come out of it really good. But I think like many people would agree that it needs a lot more money and compassion, and that a lot of people who come through it, there are a lot of abuses that take place within it. This got really heavy really fast, man. Like, I'm just talking about fucking Superman and shit, you know? But at the same time, I think it's interesting. See, this is one of those things you run into all the time. There's fucking all these people who are like, hey, do you ever think about the fact that, like, fuck, most of the people that Spider-Man beats up probably fucking die from internal bleeding due to how hard he hits them? Like, I don't want to think about that. I'm like, I think it's fun to think about that. I think that all this stuff is fun to think about. I think it's fun to think that it's a little fucking weird that these old people in Kansas just happen to raise, like, hey, look, we found what is arguably in the comic books, these people just randomly found the most powerful being in the entire universe. And then we're just lucky that most of us agree with the political and philosophical theories that those two people raised that little kid with. And a lot of it gets into that whole thing of the like, well, in the true America, there is a goodness so pure and right that any child raised with it will be a wonderful person. Fucking George R. Martin talked about this a little bit in Lord of the Rings, where he talked about the whole thing that at the end of the fucking Lord of the Rings, they just said of like, and the noble king became the king who was noble, and he reigned with prosperity for 500 years. And fucking George R. Martin, who did Game of Thrones, he was like, well, yeah, but like what were his taxes, you know, like what were the actual, like, it's really easy to just fucking say that, but actually fucking managing people and regulating stuff and being fair and equitable is really fucking difficult. It's you can't just fucking pave over that. And we do that with Superman as well, you know, like we don't ask ourselves like, everybody, see, this is why fucking Superman is such a fucking temperamental character online, is that people do that Jesus thing where they're like, oh, well, this is what I think, so surely this character must think this, because the character doesn't have a lot of opinions. A lot of the writers who have written him over the years, they all have strong opinions, but not all of those things stay consistent. There's a like, diddly-do right, hey there, kids, fucking play nice and everybody be fair. But like, you know, that's fucking Mr. Clean. That's not a fucking person. That's just nobody is that person 24/7. I'm sure you all fucking know somebody's like that, but that's not my fucking point. My point is that I don't know, man, people are fucking complex, and if Superman were a real person, the idea that you could just pick some random citizen from the farmland of Kansas and I would be like, oh man, me and this guy completely agree. I'm totally cool with him being an unregulated vigilante who is literally as powerful as possibly the gods who created this entire fucking universe, whatever fucking that means. You know what I mean? It's like, what does Superman think about religion? What does Superman think happens when he dies? I mean, I know he has died and he came back and he went to like fucking Kryptonian heaven because he's biologically not a human being. There's a lot of shit to fucking unpack there. And I'm just saying, I don't know if I'm totally cool with just like, yeah, so this kindly old couple raised him and they just happened to be the nicest people in the world and they had no disagreements whatsoever. There was nothing weird about them. There was nothing like fucking every fucking parent in the world turns out to be kind of an asshole in some regards. And if you don't think your parent was ever an asshole, then I don't know, maybe like either your fucking parent's a perfect human being or you are not applying enough like cynical, skeptical reasoning to your own life. That's not what this fucking show's about. That's not what I'm not here to fucking psychoanalyze you and tell you what's wrong with your fucking life. I'm here to psychoanalyze Superman and tell you what's wrong with his life, his fucking parents. I just think it's interesting and I think it's fun. I think there's a number of ways you can go with it of like, yeah, man, like he would be raised with the prejudices of his parents and subconscious prejudices. That's the thing. That's the thing about a lot of conversations about racism and shit like that, is that a lot of prejudices are subconscious. You don't realize that you're doing a thing. It's just fucking like there were 4 forks and one of them was a more compelling fork to you than the other forks. That sort of it. Like it creates a bias. Everybody has a bias. We're raised in a culture. We're raised to learn language, except for this fucking alien monster with the power to destroy our world. And we're just like, hey, kindly old farming couple. That's a fucking relevant industry for the world, right? I'm guessing you guys probably have a really like connected. It's also very like fucking, you know, people talk about the white savior trope thing and like it's just like, wow, thank God these 2 salt of the earth farmers were the best people on earth to teach the best lessons, because farmers are real people, not like the scum in the cities. Fucking Rorschach over here, man. Anyways, I'm an uncle fucking whatever the fuck, and that was me talking about the origin of Superman. I was thinking about that this morning, and I was thinking, man, I'm just gonna say some stuff about that. I don't know what any of it means. None of it means anything. It's just me having fun, kids. It's just fun to think about. It doesn't fucking mean anything. Go off and write your own fucking stories, make your own shows about what an asshole I am. No, don't do that. Let's all be supportive of each other. Are we done? Okay. Thank you, kids. Have a wonderful day. Share, like, and subscribe. I'm going home now. Bye.
Oh yeah, tell us your